Today, we have the official Dreamweavers of CTC with us. Get excited. What's up, everybody? We have two very special guests. Tommy is very familiar with Conversations on the Couch, and newest member of our team is joining us as well, and that's Morgan Applebee, both of whom have a very, very special role here at CTC, as they are the chief people responsible for the dreams of our CTC employees. Welcome, both of you.
Glad to be here.
Pleasure to have you. First podcast for both of you. I guess it's not a podcast, but the first video for both of you.
It is a first, so we expect nothing but great expectations, but knowing that we're going to build upon this, right?
In the future.
Yeah, what do you
great
think it
things
means
are
that
coming.
you've been with us for like 2.5 years and never made it on video? Morgan's been here like a week and she's already on video. What do you think?
My fee was just probably greater than hers for this.
That makes sense.
I think it means I'm coming for Tommy's job. You better watch his back.
I like it.
I'm in the partnership.
So first, what I'd love you both to do is to explain for the people on camera what your role is here at CTC, as I think it's unique for both of you, and not many companies have a you inside of their company, and so maybe you could help give people a little bit of context for what it is that you do here at CTC.
Sure, so we have a program called TMYD, which stands for Tell Me Your Dreams. I'm sure you've heard Taylor and others talk about it quite a bit. It's a fantastic program, not because I get to help lead and run it, but because I think it's a brilliant idea that Taylor himself actually came up with a couple of years ago, that he had this vision for being able to help the employees see a greater value in their own life, but also that being something that they could help retain employees. When you're starting a new company, you need to have something that's unique and something that is something that's going to draw people in, that looks different, that maybe your competing agencies don't offer yet. And so while him and Josh and some of the other partners were thinking of ways that they could build out something cool, they had Josh start this TMYD program, and it quickly began to develop, and he realized, you know what, this is kind of a full-time gig. I can't help grow a company and help one-on-one people figure out what their dreams are. And so I found out a little while ago that there was a little mishap on their first option, so I became the new first option.
So what he's talking about is when the program got too big for Josh to manage, we went to a good friend of mine by the name of Jason Miller, and we went and we had lunch with him at a restaurant over in South Coast Plaza, and that night he had a severe heart attack and almost died. So Jason, we're glad that you're good, man, but that was like some serious bad luck in terms of our attempts at finding some TMYD support, but he's living his dreams now. So then we came back to Tommy. Yes. What were you doing at the time, and how did you get into this crazy business?
Sure. So I am a licensed marriage and family therapist as well, and at the time when they approached me, I'd been thinking about how can I take this passion and skill and experience that I have in kind of the therapeutic realm, and I have passion for leadership and kind of bringing organizational health to different marketplace areas, and I wanted to build a business where I could help deliver that to people that looked different from just solely the business perspective and just solely the therapeutic setting. I wanted to combine the two. And so I was figuring out how I was going to do this, and they approached me. And so it was kind of this great convergence of ideas. And I said, this sounds brilliant. I would love to help play a role in this. I would love to build it out. I had an idea that I could probably make it bigger and better than what they could, not because I'm better or smarter or more effective at what I do, but just because they simply didn't have the time. And so from that place, we launched, and we've been doing it for a little over a year and a half. And it feels like it's a staple here at CTC, and I've enjoyed every bit of it. And we're growing, they're growing, and it's a really cool partnership that we have here.
Yeah, so Tommy's company, Activate, is our partner for all things related to TMYD, and his job is to take all of our employees through a 6-month journey of exploring what their dreams might be and what they're rooted in and what they're sort of how they got to that place, and then a month of identification to come out of it and actually name a dream and purpose for their life. And that's something that, like, through our comments together, I'm excited for him to take and hopefully implement in as many companies as he can over the future, because we'd love to see TMYD continue to grow far beyond CTC, because we think it's just made such a cultural impact here to make people feel like the organization is for them and investing in their dreams in a unique way. And so we're excited to see what Activate does far beyond CTC. So that's sort of a little bit of the background of Tommy, but he's not the only person here on the couch with us. We also have Morgan, who's now been here for, 7 days?
Just about, yeah.
Okay, and so Morgan, what is your job and how did you end up here at CTC?
Well, my job, Taylor, is very closely connected with Tommy's mission here at CTC. Essentially, I'm a resource for everything that the employees talk about with Tommy getting transferred into the workplace and making it tangible beyond their meetings with him so that it's actually getting carried out here in these walls and then beyond that.
Yep.
So building a framework, which building literally is what I'm doing here because this role is totally brand new.
Yep,
so
we're sort of making it up as we go along, but the way we see is sort of the delineation between Activate's responsibility and CTC's responsibility is Activate serves this role of helping people to identify what it is that their dream for their life is, and then that's where CTC steps in and we go, our mission, which we've shared many times, is to help entrepreneurs achieve their dreams. So once they have them, they bring them to us, and in particular Morgan, and she's building structures and process for helping people to achieve them. And the reason why we wanted Morgan to be this is because we got to spend a lot of time around you before this place. And so how did we discover you? And have you always been, was your intention to get involved in helping people achieve their dreams? Or how did you end up here?
No, actually, not at all. I am only 21 right now, and so I'm right in that intersection of life where I'm graduating college and trying to find a full-time job. Everybody's stressing about what they're going to be doing with their lives. So there's 100 different options of anything that will bring me income running through my mind as of last November. What you guys didn't know is that I had my eye on you for quite a while, but I actually had known a lot of the staff members at CTC for about a year and a half at that point, because I was working at a coffee shop and they were far and above my favorite regulars. Anybody from CTC that walked in the door, my day was made. And so I'd spent a lot of time getting to know you guys, Corey, Jordan, Brian, all these incredible people. And sending my resume to CTC, totally just got lost in the flood of people that wanted to be here.
I had no idea she had applied here. But so what else? So Morgan, the coffee shop down the street, Coffee Nature, Morgan is, if anybody who's ever been there, she is the absolute light and energy of that place. And every time you went in there, it was fundamentally a different experience versus any other coffee shop because of the way that she treated it. And I know my house is a minute away from work. I get the incredible blessing of living very close to my job, which is a gift in a lot of ways. But because I have 3 small little kids, it also can be really hard to transition from my house to work and have it happen so fast that sometimes for me, I would stop in at Coffee Nature to get a cup of coffee, obviously, but also because Morgan would provide this really just positive space to sort of create a gap between those two worlds for me that actually made it way easier for me to transition in. And not only was that my experience, but she constantly, anybody who went in there went so far above and beyond in serving people and taking what could be a totally monotonous experience of serving coffee to people and figuring out how to make it really meaningful. And so what we saw was, here's somebody who, when given a task that could be viewed as small in terms of making a cup of coffee, figured out how to make it really meaningful and cared for people. And so what we said was, what better person to be responsible for caring for our people here with a really big task as big as their dreams for their life? If she served really honorably and well serving people a cup of coffee, how will she serve them in the pursuit of their dreams? And so for us, it was a no-brainer because we got to watch that play out. And so we figured, hey, if we can pair Tommy's ability to help people prime and understand themselves in their lives with the care and support that Morgan will bring, we think we can accomplish a lot of really rad things. And so that's the role these two play. Is that fair? Is that a fair assessment of how you ended up here into this wacky role that has very little definition and structure?
Yes. Even though maybe you wouldn't have labeled it this, I think what you saw, Taylor, was my passion coming through to make people feel seen as an individual. So that's why this role, talk about the stars aligning. This is perfect for my passions and what you guys have going on here. Because Tommy is sitting down with these people twice a month to help them figure out who they are, what their passions are, and then they get handed over to CTC to say, okay, now go and be yourself. Be the incredible individual that you are. And that's where I come in to make sure that they don't plateau from there.
Yeah, exactly. So Morgan's part of our differentiation department, which is just simply their responsibility is to ensure that this place always remains different, and hiring somebody who's solely in charge of culture and care and helping people achieve their dreams is part of that. So we've got a couple of minutes left, but maybe Tommy, give us a sense of what somebody experiences in their first 6 months of TMYD. Like, what is it? What is that like for people?
Yeah, well, I think for the first day feels kind of like a blind date. I remember when I first started, I went on 20 blind dates in the first 2 days, and it was kind of exhausting. So I'm glad I'm not in that phase of life any longer. But it was one of these things where it's like you're really getting into the exploration phase, which is like the first 6 months or 12 sessions, so to speak. And you're going down all these different things of how can I best understand who that person is. So if Morgan was in it, we'd be identifying things like what are some of your strengths, what are some of your passions, what are some of the biggest struggles you've had, what are some of the things that you've really had to persevere through, or what are some of the things that are real markers of your life, achievements, milestones, just a bunch of different things. And we do different tests like strength finders. And so we're getting a really thorough process of understanding who this individual is and how am I creating trust between them to see that I'm the person to help them come from exploring what they want to do with their dream, and then moving that into identifying it, and then we're moving towards actually pursuing it, which I still get to play some role in, which is really awesome as well, but we partner with CTC in that. And so the exploration phase is just something where it's really monumental, what they maybe are talking about things that they maybe never have or haven't created the space in their life to talk about with a person one-on-one. And so as much as it is a time to explore what their dream might be, it's also an opportunity for them to explore like who they truly are and what things really matter to them. Because I would argue that you can't really identify like what your big dreams or visions or aspirations for life are unless you truly know who you are. And so that just kind of creates the vehicle for identifying your dream.
Totally. And for a lot of young people, which we have here at CTC, the reality is it's a journey to understand how to dream. To be able to not only see yourself as having capacity to become things, but what does a dream mean? Is it like a career thing? Like a lot of times there's disorientation around the process of like, what is this? What am I even supposed to be doing? Because it's actually very abnormal for people to spend time thinking about what it is they really want for their life, as odd as that sounds. So our hope is that over the next few months, what you're going to get to see is a lot more of Morgan sitting with people here on this couch, sharing about their dreams and where they're at in that process. So one of the series that you're going to be seeing is, I'm sure Tommy will come back on to talk about different parts of what's happening in the identification process, but our hope is that Morgan gets to sit down with some of the people who have gone through the process and named their dreams, are now pursuing it, and share some of those stories. So much more to come from these two, and Morgan especially sharing people's dreams and what she's encountering and what people are discovering and some of the rad things that they're up to, because we got some cool things ahead. But if you're interested, check out activate.culture.
ActivateCulture.co.
There you go, activateculture.co. You can talk to Tommy. If you ever want to talk to me about TMYD for your company, it's been a fundamental culture changer for us, something that our people highly value and adds to this place. And Morgan, Tommy, we're stoked to have both of you and look forward to putting much more of your smiling faces on camera. Thanks, everybody.